Hi, good evening everybody. In this video, Hasek. Need I say more? Coming up. Well, I have to do the dress properly for this one, guys. The dress code has to be proper. This is almost a privilege to talk about this man and what he means to our team, what he did. Shout out goes to Maz. He just asked me if I could do a video on Hasek's career. And Maz, I'll do my best to get it right, believe me, because this is something that it's really, this is the privilege of being a fan of a hockey team, is once in a while that special player comes along that you don't expect out of nowhere and does miraculous things that leave a lifetime impression on us, right? So let's take a look at it. Let's try and break it down and try to make sense of the insanity, the crazy numbers this man did. God. All right, I got 3 clips, okay? I'm going to do his profile. Here we go. And there you see it. Now, the thing for me is you'll always get readouts of 6'1" and 6 foot with Hasek, and you'll always see his weight between 166 and 180. I never really see it any heavier than that. As you can see, drafted in the 10th round, 199th overall. And that is proof we got to bring back the 10th round. There you go. And there's Hasek right there. My God, it still feels like I'll wake up one day and I'll get to see number 39 playing. My God, eh? Geez, life just passes too quick sometimes, folks. It really does. Now, I'm going to go into his... sorry guys, my computer's acting up, and yes, I have not changed it yet because I'm an idiot and I need to change this. Okay, here we go. We're going to look at his regular season numbers. Okay, so you can see up with Chicago. I'm not going to talk too much about the deal, really. I'm not going to go too much into the trade. Most of you know all about it with the whole crossover with Winnipeg and Chicago and everything, but let's take a look at the numbers. This is really what this video is about. So he has a brief stint in Chicago. Chicago figures he's worthless and they send him over to us. There you go. Now, 92-93, we really didn't get much of a glimpse of Hasek in the playoffs that year because Grant Fuhr was carrying the load. But the next year, we seen something special. I mean, you take a look at 93-94, 930 save percentage, a 1.95 goals against average, and in the playoffs, of course, he had that famous 70 save shutout game against New Jersey, and that really kind of cemented this guy early on. We said, my God, we got something special here. So let's take a look at this, okay? So he has his at 195 goals against, 94-95. Another 930 save percentage, 2.11 goals against, and 5 shutouts. He had 7 shutouts a year before. The next season, bit of an off year for him. 920 goals against, 2.83 goals against, and he does not win the Vezina in that year. And then Hasek again comes right back to form the next year. 930 again, a 2.27 goals against and 5 shutouts. And then 97-98, a 932 and 209 goals against with 13 shutouts, a career high 13 shutouts in that season. And of course the 98-99 season, which is 937, his career high save percentage that year, with a 1.87 goals against average and 9 shutouts. Just insane numbers. My God, it just goes on and on. There was no end to it with him in Buffalo, guys. And then 99-2000 in Buffalo, he has a 919 save percentage, 2.21 goals against, 3 shutouts. Looks like he's starting to become human. What does he do the next year, his final year with us? He has a 921 save percentage with 11 shutouts and a 2.11 goals against. Then he goes over to Detroit, which I thought he was a former shadow of himself at this point. 915 save percentage, 2.17 goals against, 5 shutouts. And the next year, he only played 8 games. 14 games. And he 907, 2.20 goals against. But keep in mind, if you notice, 2002, 2003, he didn't play. And then 2005, 2006, he makes a real awesome comeback after the whole the whole lockout back then, the whole strike lockout, call it what you want. Okay, we had that was the poker summer in 2005 that we all lived. 2004, 2005 with no hockey. 2005, 2006, he comes back with Ottawa looking better than ever. 925 save percentage, 2.09 goals against average. And then you see with Detroit, again, he goes back to Detroit, 913, 205, 8 shutouts. Closes out his career in 2008 with a 902, 214 save percentage, and 5 shutouts again. Now, if you look at the numbers now, the final numbers in Buffalo, his final numbers in Buffalo is 491 games played, 926 save percentage, 2.22 goals against average, and 55 shutouts. And the rest of his numbers, Detroit 4 years, 176 games, 911 save percentage, 213 goals against, 20 shutouts. Chicago, he only played those 25 games, and he managed a shutout, which is funny. 897 and a 258 goals against average. And the 1 year in Ottawa, of course, a very good year in Ottawa, 925 and a 209 goals against average with 5 shutouts. His career, 16-year NHL career, is a 922 save percentage. Career, we're talking career numbers, not a career year, career numbers. 922 save percentage, 2.20 goals against average, 81 shutouts. But folks, take a look. What's important is, let's go back just for a second to 1992-93 when he first became a Sabre and Grant Fuhr was carrying the load. And before we knew what we had, look at his age. You see the second bracket, 28. He started hitting his prime at 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Finished his career in Detroit, okay, at 43 years old. And I'm going to go over something in the end I want to talk to you guys about later, which is even a little more. I wrote a few notes down so I don't forget, because I have a habit of forgetting. And there is just a few things we need to go over at the very end of this video. Okay, let's click back. This will be quicker, this clip. We're going to look at the playoffs. Here we go. And there you see it. All right, let's turn our view to 1998-99 just for a second. And there it is. There's our Stanley Cup Finals run. He, that year, had a 939 save percentage and a 1.77 goals against average in that playoffs. Look above, though, to the 94 series against Jersey, what he did. And we lost that series in Game 7, guys. Think about it. A 950 save percentage, 1.61 goals against average. Unreal. So, final numbers at the bottom. In 8 playoff years with Buffalo, he had 68 games played, 37 and 30. And his save percentage was 930 and a 2.04 goals against average as a Buffalo Sabre in the playoffs. 3 years with Detroit, he played 45 games, 919 save percentage, and a 1.92 goals against average. 8 shutouts for them, 6 for us. Let's keep in mind that was full of Hall of Famers, that team, guys. And 2 years with Chicago, he had played 6 games, and let me just get the total numbers. He had 292 goals against average. We don't really want to count Chicago, because Chicago figured they could, and Chicago made the right call, because at the time they had Belfour, and they could afford to move on at the time, So those are the clips I wanted to go over with you guys before I give my thoughts on one of the greatest Buffalo Sabres ever. But I wanted to go over a few things first, okay? And we talked about, I just want to check something again here, because this is really something else to talk about. You look, he was 43 years old, okay, in his final NHL season in 2008. He didn't retire there. He went on and played in the AHL and the Czech League and the AHL. But anyway, 3 years after that, when he was 46 years old, okay, when he was 46 in the KHL, check this. This is pretty incredible, actually. He played 46 games that year, not 26, 46 games, which is mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing his body could take this. He had a 2.48 goals against average and a 915 save percentage for the Moscow Spartak, and 7 shutouts that year. He didn't stop till he took his skates away, this guy, you know? I'm gonna put a clip, okay? I found there's a video I know that's online of the and I really highly recommend to go see this if you haven't, guys, okay? It's the 1994 game. Every single save, it's in something like 7 or 8 minutes. It's not a long video, but it's really worth going to check out. So I'm gonna put a link in the description box, okay, of the video. If you look below, you're gonna see it in a sec. And one of the greatest statistics that is forgotten about Dominik Hasek was in December of 1997, 6 shutouts that month. Yep, 6 shutouts in a month. That year he had 13 shutouts. 6 were in the month of December alone. Incredible. So I can go on and on about Dominik Hasek, guys, and in closing, I'll just say a few words about him and my thoughts as a fan, what the memory I will always take of Dominik Hasek, okay, was we got this guy in a deal and from Chicago in that deal, and I might do a video on that deal one day and we'll talk about it, but you know, we just really smoked them in that deal. And, you know, I remember getting him, I was like, my brother says, you know, they're calling that goalie on your ticket. My brother was a goalie, so he was always up to date with goaltending all the time. And don't forget, he's a Flyers fan, so he suffered with that area of his life, yeah, even up to this date. Now they got Carter Hart, they're doing okay. So I remember he goes, they're calling this guy the Dominator. I'm like, geez, you know, that's a cool name, you know. He said, yeah, but he goes, Wayne, this guy is like lights out. It's just crazy what he's doing. I said, I know, but it's like, you know, at the time it was this big. Like his history in Buffalo, it was this big at the time. And that name came pretty quick for Hasek. And you know, I'll always remember, and I'm going to close on this, I'll always remember Dominik Hasek this way, guys. And I've said this before in my other video. I'd be sitting with my brother, watching a game. We'd be watching Dominik Hasek, and I'd be like, oh my good Lord, I'd be taken back, and I'd say, you know what? He's never, ever going to do this again, ever. And guys, he would do it again the next game. And that's my memory of Dominik Hasek. God bless you. See you in the next video.